If it's on the cloud, then you have to wait for it to compile, and it takes a while. Okay. I find that with the computer, it's much quicker and easier. Then I know where it is.
Morning, everybody. Hi, Felicity.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning, morning.
Morning. Jira, Iva, Angela, Amanda, Shifra, Robert, Lisa. Morning, everybody.
Morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hope it's a good week for everyone.
Yep, you all do.
I'm just joining as well.
Do you want to second
my other
one?
phone, you can just make that co-host as well, because there will be something I'm going to be showing you on my phone shortly. All right, so should we get started?
Yeah.
There are many times where literally I am introduced to an app and I think it is the greatest thing since sliced cheese. And I believe that Clubhouse is an app you are going to absolutely love, especially for the audience that are here, and especially for some of you who are interested in so many different topics. So the way to explain it is, imagine a Zoom call where all the pictures are switched off. You can only hear voice, and only Diana is the guest speaker. And you get to hear what she says, and then all of a sudden you want to ask a question, you raise your hand, Diana can then bring you to the stage, you can ask your question, and then Diana can move you off the stage again. Now, why would that be so powerful? Well, can you imagine you've got all these top celebrities, experts in various fields who are speaking on a range of topics. You can just join in a room and listen in like you're listening to the radio station. But the difference is you can participate by raising your hand. And if you are lucky, you get put onto the podium and you get to ask a question. So for example, and I'm going to show you what it looks like by sharing my screen. The app itself, once you've downloaded it, it does take a while. You have to wait to be accepted into Clubhouse. But wow, here's what my Clubhouse looks like. When you first sign in, it asks you what sort of things interest you. So I said things like technology. I said things like mathematics and science and all those sorts of things. So these are the current rooms that are open right now. And I'm going to look at one or two of them and see if there's anything that I find interesting. So some of it is just music. 10 things that rich people do that the broke don't. Okay. Breakfast with winners. So this is all about money management. Your best advice, your worst advice. And what you'll notice is that if I look at the middle one, it says 163 people are listening into this right now. And there are 13 people who are on the stage. Those could be the guest speakers or the moderators or people who are asking questions that have been brought to the stage. I can also, if you look at the bottom of the screen, I can start my own room. And let's call it Yiddish for Beginners, and have people from around the world listen to Yiddish for Beginners. Let's carry on to see if there's anything else going on. I'm just having a look to see if there was anything of interest that we can listen to. Let's talk photography. All right, so let's pretend I like this one. If I click on it, and I'm going to bring it to the microphone because I'm not sharing my sound on my screen. I'm going to click on it.
you really want to get hungry, have a look at her stuff as well. I am intentionally not looking at food pics right now because I am hungry. So Lindsay, sorry.
So while they are speaking,
Stefan, have you ever thought about shooting your stuff?
if you ever look at the pictures of the people in the screen, you will see that the stars are the people on the stage. And if I go down, then these are people who are followed by the speakers. And if I keep going, these are the others that are in the room. And I should see my name. There we go. I'm there at the bottom to say that I'm in the room as well. Now notice they can't hear me. I'm like listening to a video conversation. And if I want to know more about the people who are speaking, Michael's screen, you'll see he's got a little ring around his picture. So let's see who this Michael person is. So I touch on him. He's got 3,500 followers and he is following only 260 people. He is an advertising photographer. He's a photography mentor and consultant. He's a social media marketer, a YouTuber, a corgi father, an intermittent faster, a car lover. It's a lot of sharing here. And then it also shows you who some of his clients are. So he is a photographer, but in the marketing world. And now if I want to ask a question, I click on the hand on the bottom right-hand corner. There's a hand here. If I click on that hand, then they'll say, oh, Steve has got a question. And then they'll give me speaking status by bringing me up. And my picture will be over here. And there'll be a little microphone. And in the corner, there'll be a microphone over here, which I can either mute or unmute and then speak. But let's say I'm not interested in this conversation. I can click over here and it says, leave quietly. So I just leave the room straight away. What I can do is I can have a look over here on the calendar. And the calendar is telling me what's coming up today. There is a UK Business Owners Lounge. So these are people from all over the UK. There is 15 minutes of prayer, proverbs, and prophetic proclamations. There's French, if you speak French. Level up, manifest, and meditate. If you're into meditation, you might find this very interesting. There will probably be Torah readings and stuff like that if I look for it. Emotional triggers and lessons learned. They often have a lot of top psychiatrists and psychologists speaking. Let's carry on. Italian, intermediate, advanced, talk and listen. So let's pretend I like this one here. Welcome to Clubhouse, Androids and new users onboarding. So for people who are going to be using this for the first time, there's a little bell next to the name. And if I click on it, what will happen is I will get a notification at 3 o'clock today saying that this session here is going live. And I'll be able to then just join the room and listen to what they have to say. And if I have any questions, I can use the hand feature. But I can go and search for one. Let's type in the word Torah and see what comes up. Oh, these are clubs. We need clubs. Okay, there's CH Torah, there's Street Torah, there's Chayenu. Let's look for Yiddish. I wonder if there's even a Yiddish group. Oh, yes. There are Yiddish groups. So what you can do is you can go along to this one here and you can click follow. And whenever they start a clubhouse, you will get a notification. And you can just join in. And then you can obviously learn all about Yiddish and take part in the conversations. It happens at 1 p.m., which EDT, which is New York time, which is basically 7 p.m. on Sundays. So if you are free on Sundays at 7 p.m. and you are interested in Yiddish, you can literally follow this group over here, join in, and take part in conversational Yiddish. So there really is, when I say hundreds and thousands of topics that might interest you, and when I say that the caliber of the speakers sometimes are phenomenal, yesterday I was listening to a Clubhouse conversation, and it was about astronomy and astrophysics. And the main speaker was a colleague of mine, Jim Green, who is the chief NASA scientist. So anything that involves science with NASA, Jim is the one who will make the official announcement. And he was speaking about, for example, asteroids and meteorites that are passing our planet and that might be getting too close. And how do we stop? How do we record all of them? He was talking about all those sorts of things. And remember, this is not being recorded. So if you take part in a room and it ends, that's it. You can't say, can I get a copy of last week's episode? That's not how it works. You're either in it or you're not. So what I will say is that this is addictive, because all you need is to have access to the internet, and you switch this thing on and you can listen to conversations. You can jump from one room to the next. I can go along, and let's pretend I go along to my bio. It says I've got 83 people that I'm following. These are the people that I'm following. If you like someone who's speaking, or if there are any rooms that you like, you click on the green house. Let me show you what I mean. So if I go over here, Tech News, can you see there's a little greenhouse at the top of Tech News? If I click on that, it's going to add that to my bunch of communities that I follow. So others who are looking to follow me can have a look to see what sort of communities I'm following. That way I can network. But let's pretend I go into this room and I like what Tyler is saying. I click on Tyler and I go to follow. He's got 28,000 people following him. There we go. I'm now following him. If I wanted to, I can send him a private message. Can you imagine the chief NASA scientist, Jim Green, is giving a talk on asteroids. You find it interesting. You follow him, and then you send him a direct message to say, hi, Jim, I really enjoyed your session. I would love to learn more about asteroids. Are there any other rooms that you are in? You can actually contact the person directly. The way I like to describe this is listening to 5, 6, 7, but you can actually ask a question to one of the DJs who happen to have a group of panelists on the radio show. And I think that that is a very powerful tool. So that was Clubhouse in a nutshell. Are there any questions about it? No? So for example, you could start your own room. Ed could decide, I'm going to be starting a room called Creative Writing. Oh, I must paste the app. Sure. It's called Clubhouse, and they have just released the app for Android. So it is on iOS, the iPhones, but you can now also get it on Android. And I mean, if Ed, for example, decides I'm starting a writing group, he could literally create a room, and then people around the world who are interested in writing could join. And then you could say, oh, does anyone have anything that they want to share? Someone will put up their hand, you move them onto the stage, and then they can unmute themselves and say, well, I'd like to read a piece that I wrote. And then the rest of them can listen. And if there's anyone who's got critique, put up your hand, and then people put up their hand. So you can actually turn it into like an audio Zoom call with no imagery. It's only about the voice. And I think there's something special about that, because if you're not looking at the face, you are paying more attention to what they have to say. And I think that that is obviously of greater value. If you're trying to share things like EdTech tips, not a great venue to do it because they need to see what you're doing on the screen. But if you are just talking about various topics, it might be like a schmooze group. You can have all the members from all over the world joining that schmooze group every Sunday at a certain time. And you just have to decide who's going to be speaking and give permission for people to join. And then as you start hosting it, you will learn vocabulary. Vocabulary like it's time to reset. That means for those of you that have just joined late, this is what the room is all about. These are the people that are speaking. Give people a chance to speak. If someone wants to hog the microphone, learn how to gently intervene and say, oh, thank you so much. I do appreciate your input, but of course, we do want to give other people a chance, and we've got a lot of other topics we'd like to cover. So for now, we're just going to ask you to keep it brief. But if you listen to a couple of these Clubhouse rooms, you'll start to get the hang of how to manage a room and what you need to do. But I think it's an exciting free tool. When Elon Musk went onto Clubhouse, the room was so full that it reached its maximum peak. They actually had to stream it live on YouTube because they couldn't get more people into the room. And can you imagine being able to send a message to Elon Musk and asking him a personal question? I mean, it's insane. So I think that it's a great tool. It really is a lovely opportunity for you to get access to information that is interesting to you. And it's all audio. So hopefully you can either use your earphones if you find that your cell phone volume is not loud enough, or perhaps you can always get yourself a nice Bluetooth speaker, and then you can connect to your Bluetooth speaker, and then you should be able to hear everything quite clearly. All right, any other questions? No? No? Okay. Then we're going to move on to our next thing. The next thing that I spoke to you about, Edward asked, can we look at building a website? I'm not sure if we ever did the website. Dana, did we ever do a website before? No? Okay, so a website generally in the old days was very complicated. You had to have basic understanding of writing in HTML, a coding language. You had to understand how things worked. Now it's drag and drop. It's very simple. So creating the website is not a challenge. The challenge comes in when you want to link that website to a domain name like cjsa.org.za. That is a domain name. You don't want anyone else to have that domain name because you want to use it. So you would have to actually buy it each year for about 85 Rand. I think that's what it costs each year to keep the domain name. But just because you have the domain name doesn't mean that you have a website. You then have to point that domain name wherever you are storing the website. So maybe what I should do is draw a picture, and then that might make it a little bit easier to understand. Let me go like this. I'm going to share my screen. Let's move that over there. All right. You should all be able to see my whiteboard. So here is a domain name. Let's call it edcats dot, and the dot's not working. Where's my dot? co.za. There's edcats.co.za. Normally you'd type in www. Not sure why the dot's not working. I must just chat to the guys who run whiteboard.chat and tell them to fix that. So if I've got www.edcats.co.za, if I want to find out, does it exist? I'm going to quickly go like this. Register domain. domain. Here we go. Registered domain is a website that you can check if see if it exists. So edcats.co.za, does it exist? Oh man, I've got co.co.co. Let's try that again. Co.za. Okay, so I'm searching for edcats.co.za. And it is available. So you can get it for 85 Rand. Once you buy it, you own that domain for a year. And every year you have to renew it for 85 Rand. It might go up to 90, but 85 Rand is not too bad to own that name. You might prefer to also buy edcats.com. And edcats.com is not available. Someone in America has already got that one. So then you might say, well, let's call it edwardcats.com. Let's see if that exists. No, someone else has got that one too. So if I look at certain domains, if they exist, I obviously can't use it. And if I find one like CJSA news.co.za, oh, look, that one is available for 85 Rand. So the first thing you could do is you find your domain that no one else is using, and then you buy it. Okay, so now that you understand that part, here I've now bought edcats.co.za. I make my website. There is the website. Where are you hosting that website? You can't just make a website. You've got to put it somewhere. And then what you need to do is point the name to wherever you are hosting it. So that means that when anyone types edcats.co.za, it knows to load up this website automatically. So for example, I've got livingmaths.co.za and I've got livingmaths.com, and both of them point to the same website. So if you go type livingmaths.com, it'll take you to my website. If you type livingmaths.co.za, it'll also take you to my website. So I can have multiple names all taking you to one website. Are you all following so far? So this is the technical stuff. Normally you'd find someone who does this all for you. But what happens is, now that you've got this over here, edcats.co.za, you make your website on whatever program you like. And then what you do is you go into domain register where you signed up, and there will be a setting over here that allows you to click on it and point where your website is being hosted. And if you can't do that, whoever is hosting your website can assist you with that anyway. You don't have to understand the technicality of it. Someone can always do that for you. So now here's the thing. Oh, sorry, was that a question?
I actually want to ask, why would you do co.za or com?
Okay, so .com is seen as an American commercial, and co.za is seen as South African commercial. The reason why we are ZA is that is Zuid Africa, because SA, South America, was taken before Zuid Africa. So that's why a lot of our email addresses and websites end with ZA, because we are Zuid Africa, as opposed to .co.sa, which is South America. And why would you take it? If you are a local business, you want people to know that you are South African, that's great. I chose .com because I wanted people to think that I'm international, which I am. But I also chose co.za because a lot of people, when they're typing in your email address, they might type in co.za and expect to get to the .com, and I wanted to automatically switch over. So now that you've got that part, then comes the hosting service. There are a whole bunch of people who are willing to take your money to host your website. So what they do is, and it could be your internet service provider. It could be one that you found lying on the internet. It could be a friend of yours who can host it for you. But the way it works is they've got a computer online that is dedicated, and that computer has got space on it, on the hard drive, and they take your website and they stick it over here onto that computer hard drive. Then what they do is they give you what they call an IP number. An IP number is basically a numerical physical address of where it is stored on that computer. And when they give that to you, that is what you would fill in on edcats.co.za on the registered domain site to say, please point to that IP address. And when that happens, when anyone types in edcats.co.za, it goes straight to that IP address, which is on this computer over there, and that could be stored anywhere in the world. Now, if it's just Joe Blogs hosting your website and there's an ESCOM power cut, your website is down. But if it's one of those big companies where they've got backups and they've got generators and everything else, your website stays up all the time. Does that make sense? And remember, you don't have to know this part. Oops. You don't have to know this part over here, purely because when you are going to go to a hosting company, they will take care of all of that for you. They'll register the IP address. They'll go and do all that for you. You don't have to worry. Hosting can cost you anything from 80 to 90 Rand a month, sometimes 200 Rand a month, depending on how big your website is. And they often include a free name, a domain name in your hosting fee. So it depends on what deal you get. But the most important thing, and this is what I would suggest to you, if you want to make your own website and you don't need a fancy domain name, you just want a website that you can share a link with people to view. That's what I'm going to show you today. If I, for example, don't mind having a website that looks like this, Google Sites.com. I don't know why it's not doing my little dots there. So frustrating. There we go. Google Sites.com/edcats. If I don't mind my name, my website being like this, then I can share that link and then it's free on Google Sites. Then you don't have to spend any money. It all depends on whether it's for commercial point of view or if it's just to make your own personal site, then you don't have to worry about, a fancy domain name and paying monthly amounts, and you can design your own website quite easily. So we're going to now go and design a website. I'm going to go to a website called Google Sites. It's one of the Google programs. You get Google Docs, you get Google Slides, you get Google Sites, you get Google Gmail, Google Mail. So you get all these things. So I'm going to sign into, there we go. I've just signed into my Google Sites. And what I'm going to do is I can either start a blank one or I can choose one of these templates. So let me click on the template gallery. Ed, are there any over here that jump out at you? How about a club? Because you want to do a writing club.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's click on the club one. So now I'm creating a brand new website from scratch, and it's going to use the club template. We're going to call this, look how I'm just chopping and changing. Edwards, let's just call it Ed's writing club. Okay. If I'm not happy with this picture, I can always change the image. So let's just change the image. I'm going to upload an image quickly. Let's choose one from like a random image that I have on my computer. Let's go over here. Flexing Fridays. Let's just choose that one over there. So now I've changed the image in the background. I've got your font over here, Ed's Writing Club. I'm going to make it a little bit bolder and maybe change the font to a scripty one. Does that look a little bit better? There we go. And my website right now looks like this. What is the purpose? Oh, all right, over here. This is a writing club, and it is run by Ed Katz, who has 15 minutes of writing experience. So you write down whatever you like in your little, just to give them a little bit of a blurb. You can put pictures of people that you've had sitting around a table. You can add your own one in. I don't know, this one seems to be looking good. You can also put a caption over here and say, some of my latest students discussing their novel. There we go. And I'm going to just make it a little bit bigger. And I'm going to make that bolder. And over here, what we've done. So you could put some video clips over here, a YouTube video clip. You could put a presentation if you want. So what you'll notice is that it's given me a very basic website and it's given me templates. So I've got, this is my home page. Let's go to the events page. The events page, I'm going to put here, well, I like that picture and I like events. I'm just going to maybe change the font a little bit, make it bolder. There we go. And over here for calendar, what I would love to do is actually embed a calendar. Now, we've done Google Calendar before. So this is where you would insert a calendar where you've created a specific one called Ed's Workshops. And whenever you put a workshop on your Google Calendar under the Ed's Workshop banner, then what that will do is it will automatically update it on this website over here. So if I click over here, for example, I'm joining my calendar and I'm going to choose, let's choose, we could do CJSA. We could, yeah, let's do CJSA Public. I'm inserting it over here. Let's see if it works. Insert. So there is the CJSA Public. Right now, nothing. Let's just go to the month. Nothing is showing at the moment. It's just put the calendar in. That's fine. But now I know what Ed's going to say. No. I want to add a page that showcases some of the work that my students have done, or maybe give them a little taste of some of my work. So what do? You can what? Go to page. And I can add a page on the bottom here. A new page. I'm going to call this demos. I don't know, let's call it demos. And now you'll see demos has been added. And if I go to the demos page, what do I want to add in my demos page? So on the top right-hand corner, I can insert a text box. Text box. This is a demo page of my writing. Let's make it bold. Let's center it. It's 18. That did not work. Let's try that again. That's not center. There's center. Make it bold and let's make it size 18. There we go. And I can even change the font to bad script. Oh, look at that. This is a demo page of some of my writing. What else do I want to insert? I want to insert an image. Let's upload an image of Ed. There we go. We can, what do we want to do with that? I think we should, let's see, we can add text to it if we want to. I can move it and put it in the middle. So this is my demo page. Can you see I'm just dragging and dropping things? It's quite intuitive. I can add the page look in a certain way. I can add stuff to my Google Drive. I can add an image carousel. And an image carousel, for example, if I go over here and I click on image carousel, I can add about 5 or 6 photos. And then what happens is it allows you to have a carousel of those photos. I could add a button. So I'm going to add a button. The button is called email me. Oops. Email me. And the link is going to be mail to livemath@iafrica.com. So when you do mail to and click on insert, there we go. It says email me. The minute you click on email me, it's going to open up an email and we're going to check to see what this looks like. So now let's pretend we're happy with this final website. It's very basic. Obviously, we don't have a lot of time, so we can't go and do a fully fledged 50-page website, but you could easily. Remember, every time you add a page, you're going to get new menu options popping up over here. You can edit it on the fly whenever you want. And if I go to this button over here, preview. Preview allows me to see what the page will look like. This is what my web page looks like. Demos. Oh, it says email me. So if I click on email me, look what it did. It opened up an email. You probably didn't see that, but it opened up an email for me with my address in the 2-part. But now, if I go along here on the bottom right-hand corner, there is the large screen. This is what my computer will see. This is what a tablet will see. And that's what a cell phone will see. So different views of your website with each device. So you can decide if you to change something because it doesn't look so good on a cell phone. You can decide maybe I want my mail me to go up here because in a cell phone it's kind of hidden and they have to kind of scroll down to find it. So now that we have done this and we are happy with the way it looks, the last step is to publish it. When I click on publish, then this website goes live. I can then share the link and anyone can view my website. That was pretty simple, but I know what Ed's going to say. Oh, you know what? My problem is that I don't have time to edit this website all day long. So what Ed can do is he can click on this part here, share with others, and I can then add him on as an editor. So if I type in Ed Cats, blah, 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 blah. Well, let's just choose any Ed that pops up. If I choose that one over there, I can make him an editor, which means if we sign into this website at any, we can edit sites simultaneously like a normal Google Doc. You could say, okay, so let's say we get into Zoom and we open it up and both Ed and I are in the same editing mode. I can say, Ed, where would you like to move the picture? So Ed could drag it and say, I want to move it over here. You know what, Ed? I actually think it looks much nicer over here. What do you think? Ed goes, no, let's go with the middle again. So let's put in the middle. I think that's, yeah, no, we both agree that's better. The website, and I'm thinking, example, if CJSA had a website like this, you could have a calendar of events. You could have page over here. Let's add another page. Call it presenters. Done. I'm going to add, I want to now edit this page. So now I want to go back to the insert. I'm going to add an image, upload. I'm going to add an image of this presenter over here. And underneath that, I want to add a text box. And I'm going to put here, Steve is presenting on ideas every Monday morning. Click here to see more information about Steve. And then you can put a little link over there. Watch, I'm going to insert a link. I'm going to go like this. Click here to see more, and I click on that little button, insert link, and it'll say www.livingmaths.com, and I click on apply. So now that becomes a link inside the web page. So if I'm done, let's go to the preview again. This is what the website will look like. I'm going to try to go to the home page. Let me move that out the way. I'm going to go to the home page. There's Ed's Writing Club. Very nice. Oh, it's looking very good. What we've done so far. Some of the videos, if I click over here, I can join the mailing list. Over here, I can find out about the newsletter that comes out every week. So for example, if people click on newsletter, it automatically emails you a request to add them onto your mailing list so that they can learn more about the clubs and things that you're. And let's carry on. I'm going to have a look over here. Oh, under presenters. Now, mobile view. Let's go to the computer view. If I click over here, that was our home page. And if I click over here under presenters, about the presenter, Steve is presenting on tech savvy ideas every Monday morning. And on this link over here, there we go. And that opens up. So you literally create a website in about 5 minutes. It to, you know, continuously add to it and make sure that you've the right one. You are done. I'll tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to close that down. I'm going to go back to Google Sites. Google Sites. And sign in. Did you notice I didn't save that website? And I'm looking. Are there any other websites that I have over here? Oh, look, there's one called Ed's. Let me click on that one. I forgot that I needed to put my contact details in. So I'm going to insert a page. I'm going to go back there. I'm going to click on a page. I'm going to call it contacts. I can move the contact. I can move contact here. I can now move it down. I should be able to actually move it. Let's see if it allows me to move it. That on the 3 dots. Oh, that's not what we're looking for. We want to actually move it down. I was able to do it earlier. I'm not sure why it's not working. Oh, that's to filter the pages. So there was a way to just, oh, there. I'm dragging it. Let's try that again. Drag over here. And I'm moving about over there because I think about should go first and then contact at the end. And if I go to the contact page, I want to then go to insert call in numbers. One at cats.co. Let's try that again. Edcats at edcats.co.z. All is I'm adding stuff. I can go email, and then I can go phone number. Thinking, no, I could probably make that a little bit bigger. Size 24. There we go. Make that a little bit bigger as well. Let's make that 30. Center that. Make it bold. There you go. I'm happy with those contact numbers. Okay, so now my website is complete. And all I go publish. Let's do it. I'm publishing it. Now I'm going to choose the web address. So I'm going to call it EdCats Club. Well, let's just call it EdCats. And it's going to be called, oh, look, no one has chosen sites.google.com view EdCats. Site exists. So that's fine. It doesn't exist. So if I click on publish, then site for my website. And if I share that link with anyone, they'll get it. And if I ever want to update my site, I simply sign into Google Sites. I click on my site. I make my changes, click on publish. And that updates the entire website instantly. So you can make a change. And now name the winners. Oh, I need a competition page. Let me go to pages, add competitions. Here we go. Competitions. I actually spelled it. Let's try that again. Competitions. And I'm going to move competitions to here. There we go. That's my competitions page. And I'm going to announce every Friday at 4 o'clock the names of the winners. So at 4 o'clock, at 3:58, what he does is he goes into his Google site. He goes like this, insert text. Winners for this week will be Diana, will be Amanda, and Felicity, and Steve. There we go. These are the winners for this week. And all he does is he goes to publish. And as soon as he does that, it updates the website. So if anyone goes to the website, then straight away, they can tell if they were one of those winners or not. So you can literally have a website. You can update it on the fly. You can update it from your cell phone, from a tablet. You can have co-conspirators who are helping you to run the website, and they can add things or take things off. So let's say, for example, I'm having an event, but I can't get to my computer. If I have an assistant who has access to the website, they can log in and just change the information. So if anyone is trying to get hold of us about this competition, there is an update on the actual website. And I think that that is a very powerful tool. Normally, if Ed, you were deciding to go and work with a web designer, they will ask you for a few thousand rand. They will sit down and ask you, what are your needs? So you're going to tell them exactly what you want. They will build a website for you. And then every time you want to make a change, they will gladly come in at 300 rand an hour and make that change for you, which takes them all of 6 seconds. But now you can create your own website, and you can add and change anything you like at any moment, and it costs you nothing. The only difference is that your website will now be google.sites.com/edcats instead of edcats.co.za. But if you actually want the domain name, then what you can do is you can sign in and point edcats.co.za to your Google site. And then as long as you are updating your Google site, then you don't have to pay hosting fees because Google is hosting your site. Your domain name of edcats.co.za is merely pointing towards that Google site. So even if people didn't know your website address, if they know edcats.co.za, it will point them to that Google site and take them straight away there. So it can be done. It's not difficult. And it does require a little bit of practice and experimentation, but you don't have to publish it until you are happy the site is ready. And even if you are happy and it gets published, if you want to make any changes, make the change, publish again. It's very, very simple. That you literally can update and publish every single 5 minutes that you want to add a little line or take out a picture or update the picture or put a new address in. Very easy to edit the site. So Ed, in your opinion, do you think you could create a basic website?
I think I'll have to look over again what we've gone through. Then I could maybe do it. Maybe, yeah.
I mean, did it look incredibly challenging?
No, it looked like you could. It didn't look so hard. I could try it. Sure.
There we go. So, but I
so.
think that if you think about it, CJSA could have such a fun website where you could have, let's say, pieces of the week. So you call it POW, pieces of the week, and people submit a poem or art or something or a photo, and then all they do is they upload it onto the website. They could have featured writing. Maybe they could have someone writing a guest editor's letter. Maybe they can have their calendar of when all the talks and events are happening in case people want to join in. Maybe they can have a way to sign up to their newsletters. Maybe they can have links to resources that you are looking for with regards to languages, to health, to finance. Maybe they can have blurbs of all the guest speakers. Maybe their website has competitions. So a website is a very useful portal because everyone knows that if they just go to cjsa.co.za, then it will open up this website and all the things that they are looking for are there. And if you update it right now, the website is updated instantly. And when I was showing you the calendar, if I go like this to calendar, let's just go back to events and let me share my screen with you. This is the fun part about the calendar that I was talking about. So here is the calendar, and I said I was going to share CJSA public. So if I go to my phone quickly and I go to calendar and I put here new, it's going to be a new event, Ed's writing class, and I'm going to store it under it's not letting me store it under any of the other ones. Let's try maybe do it on my, okay, let me do it on my computer. So I go along to calendar. Here's my calendar. And I go to new event. I'm going to add a new event. I'm going to call it Ed's workshop. And it's going to be at 3 p.m. today. And I'm going to say that it is at 3 p.m. at 1500. I'm going to choose that it must go under which calendar. Now it's not going to see CJSA because I'm hiding it, unfortunately. So let me do one thing quickly. I'm going to change this calendar. Let me delete it. I'm going to insert a calendar again. Let's insert, embed. I want to get a calendar. Let's go to, let's choose Living Maths Public. And I'm going to try and find the embed code for Living Maths Public, because you see, when we first had the calendar page, that events page, it had a built-in calendar. I just had to, in fact, I should be able to do it quite easily if I do this. CJSA Public, here we go. Settings. Okay. All right, so that's what the problem was. So I'm going to go to Living Maths Public. There it is. I'm going to go to my settings. I'm going to discard that. That's fine. I'm going to get the sharing. Let's get the shareable link. Make this shareable. I want the embed code. Let's see if I can find it over here. Here we go. That's what I'm looking for, the embed code over there. And what I would normally do then is, if I go back to my calendar and I go into the website over here, I'm putting in the HTML. There we go, insert it. Okay, so now I've inserted my Living Maths Public calendar instead of the CJSA, because I remember I took myself out of that calendar. That's why I didn't have access to it. So let's pretend this is the calendar. I'm going to move it in the middle. And I'm going to go, that's fine. I'm happy with that. Let's go to preview. And what it does is it's going to show the Living Maths calendar for this month. As you'll see, nothing's happening. But now I'm going to go into my phone. Well, let me go to my calendar here. I'm going to add new event today called Ed Katz's Workshop 3 p.m. I'm going to say that it's at 3 p.m. Here we go. Under description, I'm going to say this is a writing workshop for beginners. And here is the Zoom link. And just post a strange link. And which calendar is it going to be under? It's going to be under not Living Maths, but Living Maths Public. And I click on save. Now I go back to this one and I refresh the page. And if all goes well on the calendar, it should say Ed Katz's Workshop. And if I click on that, oh, well, let's go to the preview. Sorry, let's have a look at preview. So here's the calendar. It says Ed Katz's Workshop. If I click on it, look at that. It's got details. It says it's happening at 3 p.m. Here's the Zoom link. I can get more details. I can even copy that to my calendar. So what happens is, if CJSA have created their own little calendar like I did, then what that does is it means every time you add an event to that calendar specifically, it'll automatically update the calendar that you've built into your website. And that is a very powerful tool, because then it means that if I want to know exactly what's happening today, and it was changed at 9 o'clock this morning, if I go onto that page, notice it says Ed Katz Workshop at 3 o'clock, and then Ed phones Diana and says, Diana, I'm afraid I'm actually not feeling well. There's not going to be a workshop. So Diana says, no problem. I'll just go like this. I'm going to edit it. Cancelled. There we go. I'm going to remove the link. Ed is not feeling well. Sorry. There we go. Click on save. And if I go to your page again, I'm going to click on your refresh. There we go. Let's preview it again. And you'll notice that the calendar is updated. Over there, it says Ed Katz's Workshop is cancelled. Then I know, Okay, it's not happening today. Ed is not feeling well. I must send him an email to find out if he's feeling better. So integrating a whole bunch of tools into a website, like your calendar and stuff like that, is a very important tool. For example, we've done Google Forms. Have we done Google Forms before? We haven't done Google Forms. Woo! So Google Forms is a very powerful tool. Imagine filling out a form, and when you click send, it stores all that information in an online spreadsheet. So if I want you to register for an event, you go and fill out the form, I will automatically have all your names listed in that spreadsheet. And I can then send an email to you asking you to come to an event. So next week, we're going to look at Google Forms, because can you imagine you then add a form onto your, let's just go like this. Where's your, here we go. We're going to do Google Forms and Google Sheets. And so what I would say is that if you were going to simply put a form, which particular topics interest you? Would you like to sign up for membership? Are you only interested in coming to the Zoom calls? You can, what did you think of this presenter? So they would choose the presenter, give the rating, submit, and it would all be stored on a Google Sheet, which is like an Excel spreadsheet on the website. And I can then use that information to make a summary of the most interesting lectures, the topics that they want to see the most. I can see who wants to sign up for CJSA and then send them an email and say, well, we've just seen that you wanted to sign up and we are grateful. And here is all the sign up information. And it's all free, very easy to use. And I will show you guys all of that next week. And that's something you can also put into the website as well. So that was Google Sites. That was Clubhouse, the new app that is now available on Android as well. And I hope that those particular tools are going to keep you busy for the next week. And if you do make a very basic website, then just send us the link. We'd love to showcase your website, maybe give you some input. And when you are ready to publish it, then that will be interesting. Then we can help you to make it look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, more functional, that sort of thing. And that was today's session. Are there any questions?
Steve. Yeah. Any questions, anyone?
Diana, is there any scope for maybe a website for CJSA?
I'd love to, but I don't think that Amanda's got any more capacity at the moment. We really would like to do it.
So, I mean, basically what you would need to do is simply draw a diagram of what pages you want and what you would need. And then that's it, because it takes 5 minutes to set up. And once it's set up, then it's just a case of uploading a new photograph that someone sends you or whatever. Maybe you want to make announcements, put a calendar out for each of the different centers. Are people meeting in person? Where vaccinations are available? You can have a news and announcements page where people can always get the latest news and announcements. I mean, it's just literally there's no end to what you can do, and it's all free and pretty easy to do.
We'll try. We will try. Yeah.
Even if it's 2 pages, just get started. That's the journey of 1,000 miles. Begins with that first step.
Yeah.
And Ed can tell you, any book, the journey of any book begins with that first word. You've got to start writing. That's the best way to start.
Okay.
Thanks a lot,
Thank you very much, Steve.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Have a super week, everyone.
Yeah, we'll
see you all next week.
Stay warm, stay safe, and enjoy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Go well. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
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 Bye.